All right, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, we are live now and everything is going great. I'm just gonna wait for 5 to 7 seconds to make sure that everything is going fine. Perfect. Yep, great. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. First of all, we want to wish you all a very happy Diwali.
Hopefully we are
I
live.
hope everyone is doing great and enjoy the Diwali. I'm Karthik Verma from BSides Noida, and I want to welcome you all to the BSides Weekly Podcast. Today, we're honored to have Ms. Sakshi Bhayana, a distinguished advocate practicing at the Delhi High Court and District Court. As an impaneled advocate for Delhi District Court, certified PoSH trainer, and cyber law expert, Ms. Bhayana brings a wealth of knowledge on creating safer, more secure workplaces. With experience advising both the government and corporate sectors, she is here to share her unique insights on the intersections of law and cybersecurity. Ma'am, how are you doing and how was your Diwali, if I may ask?
Thank you so much, Karthik. That was such a wonderful introduction, and happy Diwali to you as well. I hope you had a great time during Diwali. And it's an immense pleasure to be on this podcast. So, thank you so much, besides, as well, for welcoming here.
The pleasure is all ours, ma'am. We are always looking forward to having these interactive sessions. Like a lot of our viewers are always like, we want to learn more, we want to learn more. So we are always look out for all the various experts. And ma'am, the pleasure is all ours, ma'am. So the first thing that I actually want to start with is your why. So like this is a very niche question, but I feel ये question पूछने से like the viewers will be able to relate with you more. So the question is, why cyber law? When did you decide that you want to pursue your journey in cyber law, and what inspired you exactly to pursue your journey in this particular niche?
Karthik, as you have already mentioned, this is an absolute niche field. बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो साइबर लॉ में अपनी प्रोफिशिएंसी और एक्सपर्टीज करना चाहते हैं बट आई टू बी ऑनेस्ट हैव ऑल्सो एन पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस टू इट I, before doing my law from Delhi University in 2014, I was pursuing journalism and mass communication. And back then, I was also working in the media industry. When I was in the media industry, I personally faced a lot of cyber bullying and cyber stalking because I used to post a lot of pictures and videos because I was not only in the field of journalism working alongside, I was also a celebrity working on a TV for a lot of TV shows. So I used to receive a lot of trolling and comments on my posts and videos and images that I used to post, and I used to feel very uncomfortable about it at times. Moving on, I moved into my studies. I did law, and I realized that there is a particular field where you can not only protect yourself but also support others. So I decided to delve into law and do my expertise in cyber law, and that's what I did. So yeah, not just professionally, I also have something to share personally here when it comes to cyber law.
I feel, ma'am, everybody in today's day and age has experienced some kind of cyberbullying or something. So yeah, ma'am. I mean, all of us can probably relate to you, and everyone like has probably experienced this. So first of all, ma'am, I would like to tell our viewers that ma'am has also is like a consultant to the Ministry of Electronic and IT. Ma'am, can you please share some of the major projects that you've been a part of, and what specific contributions you've made to those projects?
To be honest, I feel absolutely blessed to have been a part of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. This comes under central government of our country, and certainly there were so many little nuances and nitty-gritties that I've learned from being a part of MITI, which is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, talking about data privacy laws or information technology regulations or online gaming regulations or understanding what a grievance appellate committee is, or in fact your offenses that are covered under Information Technology Act 2000, and then thereafter the amendments in 2008. There were so many things that I learned about an individual, corporate, or even people at general, knowing that how important is data and their collection and processing is.
Mom, actually, it's a perfect transition to the next question that I wanted to ask. You spoke about Digital India Act and IT Rules Act as well. I am from a cybersecurity background, and I'm going to be very honest with you, मेरे को खुद proper clarity नहीं है what are these different acts. And you being from a cyber law background, I like we would really appreciate if you could tell us exactly what these acts such as Digital India Act, IT Rules 2021, and the Digital Personal Data Protection Act is all about. Could you please shed some light on what these laws are?
See, DPDP की जब हम बात करते हैं, so we basically talk about how your data is protected, how your data is processed, how is it collected. आज की डेट में हम बहुत सारे जगह देखते हैं कि हम अपना डेटा यूं ही दे देते हैं. Like if there is a form that comes online, we will just put in our details, our name, our address, or probably our email ID, our phone number, and other details that have been asked. ठीक है? We do not think twice before we furnish our details. So it's important for us to basically safeguard our information. बहुत सारी जगह आपने देखा होगा, आपको कॉल्स आ जाते हैं, आपको मैसेजेस आ जाते हैं, एंड यू आर नॉट रियली श्योर वेदर दोज मैसेजेस आर समथिंग टू बी वेरी रिलाइंग ऑन. बहुत सारे फिशिंग ईमेल्स आते हैं. तो बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं जो आपको अलग अलग तरीके से अप्रोच करने की कोशिश करते हैं, आपको फूल अराउंड करने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिन्हें हम ईमेल्स की बात करें, फिशिंग ईमेल्स होती हैं. हमें फेक ईमेल्स आती हैं कमिंग फ्रॉम फेक बैंक ईमेल अकाउंट्स. और वी टॉक अबाउट सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट्स में बहुत सारे पोस्ट आते हैं दैट यू रीशेयर इट और यू कमेंट ऑन इट और यू सेंड इट बैक, या फिर हमारे पास डिफरेंट क्यूआर कोड्स आते हैं. ये सब कुछ कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये सब कुछ आ रहा है जब आप अपना डेटा कहीं और दे रहे हैं. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू प्रोटेक्ट आवर डेटा. और डीपीडीपी में एक स्पेसिफिक मैनेजमेंट है विच इज कॉल्ड कंसेंट. जब तक आप अपना कंसेंट नहीं देते या फिर आपका राइट टू बी फॉरगॉटन या इरेजर नहीं होता, जो कि आपको जीडीपीआर में एक राइट दिया गया है, तब तक आप उस डेटा को वहीं पर रहने देते हैं. तो मेक श्योर डीपीडीपी ऑल्सो इज अ वेरी बिग स्टेप टू टेल यू when you can remove your data, when your data can be collected, for how long it can be collected, how is it processed, what data is collected, who takes your data. If a corporate or a company or an organization is taking your data, so why would they take your data? For what period will they retain your data? Can they keep your data for a lifetime? So these are very small little things. अब तक क्या होता था, हमारा information या हमारा data जहाँ भी जाता था वो लाइफ लॉन्ग वहाँ चला जाता था. तो कैन दे रिटेन देयर डेटा मोर देन अ सर्टेन पीरियड? डू दे हैव अ कंसेंट? अब हम लेटली ये देखने लगे हैं कुछ वक्त से कि हमारे पास व्हाट्सएप हम यूज करते हैं तो हमारे पास एक कंसेंट का एक फॉर्म आने लगता है. यू हैव
Yes.
टू एक्सेप्ट इट और डिनाई इट.
Yes.
बहुत सारी चीजें हमने देखी हैं कि हम फोटोज कभी एक्सेस करने जाते हैं या फिर गूगल मैप्स एक्सेस करते हैं, बहुत सारी एप्लीकेशंस एक्सेस करते हैं, तो उसमें एक ऑप्शन आता है फुल एक्सेस, अलाउ लिमिटेड एक्सेस,
Yes.
नो
Yes.
एक्सेस, एक्सेस व्हाइल यूजिंग इट. ये सब क्या है? ये सब एवोल्यूशन है जो कि मिनिस्ट्रीज आपके लिए लेकर आ रही है, गवर्नमेंट आपके लिए लेकर आ रही है, रेगुलेशंस, लेजिस्लेशन. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज प्ले अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड अ वाइटल रोल इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग आवर डेटा, so that there is a limited breach or no breach of your data at all.
All right, ma'am. Now it makes a lot of sense. Ma'am, also when I go through all these different articles and different various acts belonging from a cybersecurity background myself, I came across this right to be forgotten. I am actually not a lot. मतलब मेरे को इतनी clarity नहीं है इसके बारे में. Can you please tell me and our viewers about this act as well?
See, when I take sessions for a lot of colleges and institutions, I make sure that, I'm sure even your audience must have a lot of college students or students who are studying in school and they might want to know about what exactly is cyber. So for them, what we do is we try to do संधि विच्छेद. संधि विच्छेद पता है?
हाँ, yeah.
शब्द को तोड़ देना.
Yes.
तो जैसे राइट टू बी फॉरगॉटन को हम कैसे पढ़ेंगे कि आपका अधिकार भूल जाने का. So
जी.
basically your information, your personal information that is available online, you should probably have a right for it to be removed or erased. जैसे मैंने पहले बताया कि EU के regulations में, GDPR में, वहाँ पर आपके पास एक अधिकार होता है राइट टू बी इरेजर का, और सेम कॉन्सेप्ट हमने डीपीडीपी लाने की कोशिश करी, जिसे कहते हैं राइट टू बी फॉरगॉटन. जहाँ पर आपकी जो पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन है, मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू वर अलेज्ड इन वन ऑफ द केसेस and your information was there and all of that information was probably published on a public platform. ठीक है,
Okay.
आपके अगेंस्ट कोई केस चला and then you were a party to that matter and then the matter had gone out for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever the span of that case was, and thereafter you had been acquitted, you were sent out free, but you would want all your information which is available online be removed. क्योंकि जब भी आप उस इंसान को गूगल करोगे या कोशिश करोगे उस इंसान के बारे में पता करने की, तो वो इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑटोमेटिकली आपके सामने आ जाएगी. जैसे कि आज अगर मैं कार्तिक वर्मा या साक्षी भयाना या कोई और किसी और का नाम गूगल करने जाऊं, तो उस इंसान की जितनी भी इंफॉर्मेशन है वो ऑटोमेटिकली गूगल पे आ जाएगी. देयर वाज आल्सो अ केस बिफोर द कोर्ट वेयर द कोर्ट सेड दैट the records that are there in the public platform of a court proceeding, it is very difficult for you to remove it, or there may be absolutely no removal from the court records. Court
Hmm.
records से या court proceedings से निकालना उसे बहुत मुश्किल है, या absolutely there's a no possibility. So right to be forgotten comes under your right to be privacy. आपको एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट के अंदर एक राइट दिया गया है, बट दिस इज नॉट एन एब्सोल्यूट राइट. आप इसको अधिकार से मांग नहीं सकते. सो इफ यू अप्लाई फॉर इट, इफ यू से दैट my information that is available online and it is defaming me, or it is affecting me, or it is probably, you know, demeaning me in some or the other manner, and it doesn't even direct me, it doesn't even pertain to me, ये जो information है ये या तो forged है या false है, या फिर ये किसी particular context पे ली गई थी, but I am not related to that context anymore. You know,
Hmm.
there was probably a case against you, but you were out of it, now you're scent free. ठीक है. So now when you're not pertaining to it, when you're not related to it, so you want that information to be removed from that public platform. So उस केस में आप अप्लाई ज़रूर कर सकते हो, बट देर इज़ नॉट अ गारंटी, इट इज़ नॉट एन एब्सोल्यूट राइट कि वो सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन जो आपने अप्लाई करी, यू नो, यू हैव रिक्वेस्टेड फॉर दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन टू बी रिमूव, तो वो हो जाएगी. So this is not an absolute right, but definitely this comes under right to privacy.
That is actually really interesting because I personally, when I used to go on news and जब भी हम इतने सारे cases होते हैं आजकल, and we see, for example, a man, for example, has been falsely accused of any sexual misconduct, for example, right? And media, news, they are the first, obviously, rightfully, they should, and they are the first people, to post headlines saying ki okay, this particular person having this name living in this particular residence के ऊपर ये केस हुआ है. And people, we are simple people, we are social animals, so whenever we see a particular headline, we are like, oh, इसने किया ही है, and we don't really consider that that is just an allegation, it hasn't been proved yet. And even if the court says that okay, you know what, this person is not guilty, तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन यूजुअली उसके बारे में, जब वो नॉट गिल्टी प्रूव होता है, उसके बारे में इतनी बात नहीं होती है, उतना आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश नहीं होते. एंड व्हेनेवर दैट पर्सन्स नेम इज बीन सर्च्ड अप, एज यू सेड, वो आर्टिकल कहीं ना कहीं ट्रेस बैक उस पे किया जाएगा, which spoils his reputation and can obviously damage his like future life. So right to be forgotten is a very crucial act, but I understand, like, it's a very interesting act, and I'm sure our viewers did not know about it but got to know about it now. And ma'am, you
Right.
also, yeah, you also spoke about seminars in colleges and schools. That was actually my next question, which was talking about awareness, right? Cyber security, especially in India, now that India, everybody has access to internet, almost everybody, but it is still comparatively new, right? I mean, in the last 6-7 years only, सबके पास access आया है internet का. So spreading awareness is a crucial role. And whenever you go to colleges or schools, according to you, what are the biggest misconceptions that students have for like about cybersecurity or security in general, cyber laws? What have you noticed as of now?
See, first of all, coming to the sessions that I take for a lot of colleges, institutes, schools, or even NGOs, I would say there are a lot of bunch of people who are still not very conscious about their data.
Mm-hmm.
Being aware is one thing, being educated is one thing, but being very regularly conscious about what your data is not possible.
Yeah.
बहुत छोटी सी बात है, हमारे पेरेंट्स जब कोई विल रखते थे या प्रॉपर्टी के पेपर्स रखते थे या फिर कोई भी इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स रखते थे, एफडीज रखते थे, तो कैसे उसे संभाल कर लॉकर में रखा करते थे, हमेशा उस पर आंख रखते थे कि वो संभली रहे. मगर आपको लगता है कि आजकल जो हमारी जनरेशन है वो अपने फ़ोन को उतना प्रोटेक्ट करके रखती है, या अपने डिजिटल डिवाइस को उतना प्रोटेक्ट करके रखती है, या लैपटॉप को उतना प्रोटेक्ट करके रखती है? क्यों? क्योंकि एज अ मैटर ऑफ ईज ऑल्सो दे थिंक एक ही पासवर्ड सब पर लगा दो. यू नो,
Yeah.
बहुत सारे लोग, मैं अपनी पहले वाली जनरेशन में देखती हूँ कि अपना डेट ऑफ बर्थ अपना पासवर्ड रख लेते हैं, अपने बच्चों का नाम अपना पासवर्ड रख लेते हैं, या कॉमन 1 to 10 अपना पासवर्ड रख लेते हैं. आपको क्या लग रहा है कि जो क्रिमिनल है वो आपको आसानी से विक्टिम नहीं बना सकता? बिल्कुल बना सकता है, एंड वी ऑल नो इट. अगर उसके पास आपकी इतनी इन्फॉर्मेशन है, आपकी पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन है कि आपकी डेट ऑफ बर्थ क्या है, आप कौन सी सिटी से बिलोंग करते हो, आपका नाम क्या है, आपका नॉमिनी कौन है, आपकी बैंक डिटेल्स, आपका अकाउंट नंबर, ये सब चीजें आजकल निकालना, ये सब करना, रिट्रीव करना बहुत आसान हो गया है. क्रिमिनल्स के लिए, यू नो दैट राइट? तो
Yes.
हमेशा ध्यान रखो, फॉर एनीबडी आई टेक इन्फॉर्मेटिव लेक्चर्स फॉर, ऑलवेज मेक श्योर दैट योर पासवर्ड्स आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग। उसमें हैश लगाओ, सिंबल्स लगाओ, नंबर्स डालो, अल्फाबेट्स डालो, मेक श्योर दैट द पासवर्ड्स आर वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू क्रैक। टू फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन की हम बात करते हैं, सो मेक श्योर दैट वंस यू लॉग इन इनटू योर ईमेल, दिस इज 2FA, जहाँ पे आपको एक OTP आएगा तभी लॉग इन होगा। मेक श्योर कि आप कोई भी एप्लीकेशन यूज कर रहे हो, उसमें माइक्रोफोन अगर जरूरत नहीं है तो ऑफ कर दो, कैमरा जरूरत नहीं है तो ऑफ कर दो, हमेशा फुल एक्सेस मत दो। सारी चीजें, हमारी आदत हो गई है कि हम गूगल ड्राइव पे डालना शुरू करते हैं, बट यू थिंक
Yes.
दैट द गूगल ड्राइव इज सेफ? इट्स नॉट सेफ। इवन सेलिंग योर फोन इज नॉट सेफ। बहुत सारे लोगों को लगता है कि अगर मैंने आज अपना फोन फॉर्मेट कर दिया है और फॉर्मेट करके उसे बेच दिया है तो उसमें से डेटा रिट्रीव नहीं हो सकता। आई एम वेरी सॉरी टू ओपन योर आई फॉर दिस मैटर। ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप अपना डेटा पूरा का पूरा रिमूव कर दोगे, फ़ोन फॉर्मेट कर दोगे तो आपका डेटा निकल नहीं सकता। इफ somebody wants to take out your data even from a formatted phone, he or she definitely can. We see a lot of your numbers, अगर आपके पुराने numbers है, phone numbers है, तो वो बाहर जाते हैं, फिर वो misuse हो जाते हैं। We have seen a lot of offenses happening. आज की डेट में the evolution of cyber crimes has gone very high. मैं मई 2024 की बात कर रही थी। आई वॉज लुकिंग एट द डेटा विच NCRB पोस्ट। नेशनल क्राइम जब आपके ब्यूरो आपकी जो डेटा है उसको पोस्ट करता है तो बताता है कि रिपोर्टेड केसेस 7,000 पर डे है मई के महीने में। आप ये सोचो, ये वो केसेस हैं जो रिपोर्ट होते हैं। मैं अपने कितने सारे रिलेटिव्स को जानती हूँ जो कहते हैं कि साक्षी कोई बात नहीं, 1,000 रुपए का फ्रॉड हुआ है, 5,000 का फ्रॉड हुआ है, 200 रुपए का फ्रॉड हुआ है। It's not about 1,000, 500, 200.
Yeah.
It's about with that small peanut of amounts that a criminal is taking, he's taking, he's earning crores of money and you're letting him free. So don't let that happen. Always make sure that if even if a small mistake or small thing happens, you go and dial 1930. You go to your nearest police station, there is a cyber cell always. In any of the nearest police station, there's a cyber cell. वहाँ पर जाओ, वहाँ पर कंप्लेंट करो, cybercrime.gov इन पर जाकर लॉग इन करो।
Mhm.
आपको सहूलियतें दी गई है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से, आपको ये एक प्रोवाइड किया गया है पोर्टल कि आप अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वहाँ पर फर्निश कर सकते हो। cybercrime.gov.in एक ऐसी वेबसाइट है जहाँ पर अलग अलग बाइफिकेशंस हैं। अगर कोई पॉर्नोग्राफिक मटेरियल है, ऑफेंसिव मटेरियल है, उसके लिए अलग है। कोई फाइनेंशियल ऑनलाइन फ्रॉड हुआ है उसके लिए अलग है, कोई और फ्रॉड हुआ है उसके लिए अलग है। सो देयर आर वेरियस टैब्स। always make sure always make sure that you have enough evidences to prove that an offense has been committed.
Yes.
For example, मान लो किसी ने आपके QR कोड से या आपके बैंक अकाउंट से किसी ने आपके मनी ट्रांसफर ले लिया, ठीक है, छोटे से एग्जाम्पल से इसको समझते हैं। अब किसी ने आपके बैंक अकाउंट से अगर आपके पैसे ले लिए तो आप पोर्टल पर जाके क्या करोगे? पहले सबसे पहले अपनी डिटेल्स डालोगे,
Yeah.
whatever the required details, your personal details will be given. Then you must also put across those screenshots कि क्या कम्युनिकेशन हुई है आपकी उस क्रिमिनल के साथ। आप उसके स्क्रीनशॉट्स लो, उन्हें एज एन एविडेंशियरी प्रूफ लगाओ, इमीडिएटली 1930 पे फ़ोन करो, अपनी कंप्लेंट दर्ज करो और दर्ज करने के बाद मेक श्योर दैट यू ट्रैक इट प्रॉपर्ली। And government of India at this point of time is so helpful that they will make sure that at least you get as much as possible, solution as is available right now.
And I'm like, out of curiosity, whenever, especially these days, whenever you go to any particular restaurant, even when you make even when you don't make a reservation for that matter, I recently went to, I mean, a small restaurant, right, just here in my locality, and when you enter over there, they ask me, okay, so what's your name? I gave them my name. They asked me what's your phone number. I gave them my phone number. They asked me what's your email. I gave them our email, right? I was with one of my friends and I was in a hurry, so I just gave them that information. And while having food, I was like, "अरे मतलब मैंने information दे तो दी, but like मतलब उन्हें मतलब why did they even need it in the first place, right? Even if they don't have any ill intention, but like I'm assuming even if they wrote down on a register and अगर वो register full होगा, even if they don't discard it properly, they just probably just throw it off in the dustbin, right? But that register still has information of various customers. That's gonna land up at some criminal somewhere, and then he or she can probably use that data to, carry out any fraud for us. So, and now I understand, ma'am. Also, ma'am, if I'm not mistaken, आधार कार्ड जो है हमारे, over there earlier, like I read somewhere that you're not supposed to give your full Aadhaar card with the
Now
proper
you're not
Aadhaar.
required to. By the Supreme Court guidelines, you're not required to. You can only take, so they take 4 digits of your Aadhaar card, and that's important. That's enough for you to furnish your details. So पहले होता था your entire Aadhaar card number is required, but now it's not anymore, which is a very big safeguard. And
Yeah,
coming to your previous incident of giving information at a restaurant,
yeah,
see DPDP में हमने ये cover किया that whatever information is digitized, जो भी information आपकी digital records में होती है या फिर ऑफलाइन होती है और बाद में डिजिटल होती है, उस सारी इंफॉर्मेशन को विद इन इंडियन जुरिस्डिक्शन जो कवर होती है उसको हम डीपीडीपी में कवर करते हैं. सो
okay,
यू कैन ऑलवेज मेक श्योर दैट इफ दैट कम्स इन प्लेस, उसमें क्या होता है कि दैट इंफॉर्मेशन कैन बी रिमूव्ड.
okay,
ठीक है, पहली बात. दूसरी बात, इट इज ऑल्सो एप्लीकेबल टू द रेजिडेंट्स हु आर आउटसाइड इंडिया.
all
So
right,
it's not just that you're an Indian citizen within the jurisdiction of India, so it's applicable to you. Even if you are staying outside, it'll be
okay,
applicable to you even then. So that's a big safeguard that we look forward in DPDP.
all right.
Yeah.
And like also, mom, like for example, this Aadhaar incident that you just spoke about, I think one of the biggest problems right now is about spreading awareness, right? You yourself said that you organize and you take various seminars, teach lots and lots of students. According to you, what is like the, like how do we make sure that we are properly spreading awareness regarding cyber law? Do you feel, I'm pretty sure that the government now is taking a lot of different initiatives. I would like if you could also highlight what initiatives the government are taking. Also, do you feel like in school or private universities there is a necessity to maybe make cyber security or cyber law like a mandatory subject, if for a semester or for up until an age? What do you think about that?
See, October, first of all, is considered as a cyber awareness month. So we
Yeah.
see a lot of sessions happening across. And NEGD is one of the departments of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, which makes sure that there are a lot of sessions and campaigns and social information being gathered and even given to a lot of people around. So even I did one of the sessions with Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology recently in the month of October for cybersecurity. So we do
Okay.
all these sessions in sync with each other. We work together for awareness programs. And coming to your second question, whether there should be some mandatory subject for students in schools or in colleges or institutes, absolutely. Because this is the future. हम कहाँ पहले फिजिकल किताबें या फिर पन्ने पलटते थे. अब everybody has an iPad. Like I see a child born and after 3 years or 4 years the child is on the mobile. I don't think that 20 years back people used to have mobile in their hands for reading, studying. Now we see so many classes online, we see so many sessions online, we see students and kids are not even having poems from Dada Dadi, but rather mobile and laptop. So that's the new Dada Dadi that they have for poems and kahaniyas. We know that, right?
Yeah.
पहले होता था we'll be in a group of family and we'll sit and watch Mahabharat. So now we don't do that. We only watch it in our respective mobile phones. Somebody wants to watch Mahabharat, somebody wants to watch probably whatever Pokemon, so they would separately do that. So
Yeah.
everything is digitized, but it's very important for you to secure your digital environment. It's very important for you to be conscious and be more aware and be more intelligent about it. I would not say ki everybody has to be very very tech savvy, but
Hmm.
everybody has to be very very sure of what they are doing. अगर मैं एक्सेप्ट ऑल कुकीज कर रही हूँ तो क्यों कर रही हूँ और उसका फायदा क्या है, उसका नुकसान क्या है. अगर मैं ओटीपी नहीं डाल रही हूँ या 2FA नहीं कर रही हूँ तो उसका नुकसान क्या है. मैं अगर किसी भी फिशिंग ईमेल पे क्लिक कर देती हूँ, अब जैसे हम बहुत सारे ईमेल्स देखते हैं, उन्हें फिशिंग ईमेल्स, बहुत सारे ईमेल्स को फिशिंग ईमेल क्यों कहा जाता है. मैं अगर आज एस कैपिटल बी और स्मॉल एल लिख दूँ एक
Hmm.
तरफ और दूसरी तरफ लिख दूँ एस कैपिटल बी और कैपिटल आई, will you be able to make a difference out of this?
No.
No. That's the difference. क्योंकि हमें पता नहीं है कि क्या ऑथेंटिक है और क्या नहीं है, क्या फेक है, क्या रियल है. सो ये सारी चीज़ें जानने के लिए हमें साइबर अवेयरनेस होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड आई थिंक इफ there comes a time when it becomes a mandatory subject for all the schools and institutions and colleges, I think it will be wonderful. I would support it.
Yes, I actually agree with you, mom. Especially, I have a younger brother, right? Thankfully, I was never a gamer. Like, I never enjoyed playing games. But my younger brother, he's obsessed. Like during COVID, PUBG and matlab, itni games, everybody was obsessed with it. And when he was really young, he used to obviously accept all the cookies and whatever information that was shared without even telling us. Not only that, to our surprise, he actually filled out, a form in which he shared financial not documents, but financial information of my dad on the game. And like when we asked him, he said, "Ki, Arey, I bought this new skin. I bought this new feature from the game." And we really scolded him, and then we made sure that he never played that game again. But obviously, now he has grown up. Now he realizes what he has done. But now I can only imagine that, spreading awareness is so important, because if you think about it, like jo bacche hain, when they are playing a game, they don't really care about what, like they just want to play the game, right? So I feel, do you feel that in your experience while playing games, बहुत cases हुए हैं in which information has been like stolen? What do you think, like ऐसे is that true according to you?
See, not even just information, blue whale तो तुमने
Oh,
सुना ही होगा. What
yeah.
happened to the kids back then? And we were very worried. And I was back then with ministry only. So
Okay.
the regulations, IT rules 2021 were amended right back then in 2022, and we made sure that online gamings were also considered as an intermediary.
Yeah.
After this, we'll also discuss what an intermediary is. So we made sure that there's a proper safe compliance being done by online gaming regulatory bodies also, and these gaming companies also, organizations also. Now they also have in place that if they publish, post, transmit, transfer, or upload anything which is offensive or against the regulations of Indian laws or IT rules 2021 or Information Technology Act, or anything which is derogatory also, then
Okay.
immediately there is a suspension of information and a legal action can definitely be taken. So, talking about this on the one side, second side, we also see that there's a grievance officer with all the intermediaries. अब intermediary क्या होता है पहले, we'll talk about this. Intermediary is basically, I am a consumer, I'm probably playing a game or I'm probably using an application, and the other party is a company or a gaming company or an application company. Let's say I'm talking about Instagram.
Okay.
So between the two, who is the bridging gap? Is that game, or is that it's that application that I'm using, or an Instagram?
Yeah.
So they have a safe harbor provision. What happens is कि अगर आज मैं एज अ कंज्यूमर अपने इंस्टाग्राम पे या फेसबुक पर या फिर स्नैपचैट पर कुछ ऐसा अपलोड करती हूँ जो मैं अपलोड करना चाहती हूँ, तो क्या आप फेसबुक को या इंस्टाग्राम को लायबल ठहराओगे?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I don't know.
नो.
Okay.
देयर इज अ प्रोविजन ऑफ सेक्शन 79 which says that you have a safe harbor. अगर आपने कुछ अपलोड नहीं किया या पोस्ट नहीं किया या फिर फर्निश नहीं करा, then you have a safe harbor. You will not be liable for it unless you take an action. If I am voluntarily doing something, that a legal action can be taken against me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I am a Facebook and I have not voluntarily done anything, then I am not liable for it.
Okay.
ठीक है?
Yeah.
Similarly, with the online gaming regulations also, a lot of amendments were given.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. Also, ma'am, like about cyber law, obviously we have to talk about cyber crimes, especially with AI on the verge. But I'm going to talk about AI in a while, ma'am. I have other scams or crimes that I want to talk about, and I'm sure you can help us a lot. Ma'am, now with ease of access to the internet, almost everyone is connected online, right? From children to people in their old age. Everything is getting digitized. We hardly use cash anymore, and we obviously, everything is now UPI. If you're going for, every rickshaw driver has an UPI now. If you're stuck at a red light and if a beggar comes up to you and says, "Can you lend me some money?" You tell them, "I don't have cash." They say, "Ki UPI kar do." It is such a common thing. So I want to talk about UPI scams. As in terms of the finance, we're like obviously moving to the online aspects like UPI and online banking. So in that case, how can users protect themselves from scams and fraudulent activities, ma'am? Also, how should individuals like identify and avoid them?
See, so there are two major aspects to it. First of all, make sure that wherever you are transferring the payment or making the payment, it should be verified and reliable source. हम रेजर पे देखते हैं या गूगल पे देखते हैं या पेटीएम देखते हैं, वी नो दैट दीज आर वेरीफाइड एप्लीकेशंस. डू नॉट पे एनीवेयर विच यू थिंक इट्स नॉट वेरीफाइड. पहली बात. दूसरी बात, जो स्कैम्स मैंने देखे पर्सनली वो थे जहाँ पर अ पर्सन विल कॉल यू फॉर एग्जांपल, you try to sell a product from one of the applications or a website, ठीक है.
Okay.
You post something from your furniture. मान लीजिए मेरे पास एक कुर्सी थी जिसकी मुझे ज़रूरत नहीं थी. I went on a website and I tried to sell that. The person comes to me, he calls me and says that, I'm interested in buying your chair. It looks beautiful. Can I pay you for this? This is like worth 7,000 rupees. I will pay you. Okay?
Mhm.
And then you'll be like, cool, pay me and I will probably send it to you, or you can pick that chair whenever you want. In that case, what he does is he will immediately say, I'm unable to pay you. Maybe, I'm not able to access or reach out to your UPI or your scan. Can you just make 1 rupee? Because 1 rupee would not be like a big amount. And
Mhm.
they will take away your 1 rupee, take away your QR code with that 1 rupee. They might clone it, copy it, and then take away all your bank details from that.
Ah, okay.
So that happens. And there are other UPI scams also, when you randomly, without knowing, without thinking, just scan a QR code and you're not sure where your bank details are going. So it's very important that whenever you scan a QR code, or whenever you try to make a payment, make sure that that account is verified.
All right, ma'am. Also, I've heard there was a scam which I read about online, and that was obviously like the Delhi police posted out an article in which they told us about and made us all aware about it, in which the cyber criminal or a random person would message you and say ki beta, I'm your dad's friend, and by mistake I've sent you 1000 rupees, can you please send it back to me? And in reality what that person used to do was he never paid him 1000 rupees, but he messaged him that account number this has sent you 1000 rupees, and he basically copied the entire way. For example, Paytm notifies you, he copied that entire message and sent it to that person. Now usually whenever usually how do we exactly ensure that okay hame paise mil gaye? That's usually through SMS only. So in that particular case what people used to do was they used to see the message, they used to feel, okay, this person has by mistaken sent me 1000 rupees, and then 1000 rupees se bheje, and then criminals used to gain a lot of money like that. And so like crazy scams going on right now. The next thing I actually wanted to talk about was sextortion. A lot of people of my age and like professionals, working professionals as well, they're also not sure what sextortion is and how to how do we protect ourselves from it. So can you please enlighten us about that?
See, as the name suggests, sex extortion.
Yeah.
So, when somebody tries to extort you, when somebody tries to take money from you,
Mhm.
probably through a phase of sex, or enticing you into something which is sexual, then it's called sextortion. This happened with one of my very close friends. What happened is, he, without knowing, just picked up a online call, video call. Okay? And the girl on the other side was doing some uncomfortable moves.
Mhm.
All right. Before he could understand what exactly was happening, he was being recorded. And after a few seconds, he dropped the call down. Now, what happened is, those few seconds were absolutely recorded. And within few seconds, he gets that message and the entire recording of him and that girl now extorting money from him, asking that if you do not pay me this amount, I will leak this video out and you will all be defamed.
Okay.
Now, in such cases where something pertains to your image and where you are seen doing something incorrect, illegal, offensive, pornographic, whatever, something that probably you will be ashamed of, or you may consider yourself being ashamed of, in those scenarios, what you do is you panic, you go
Yeah.
anxious, right? If something like that happens to anybody around, our first reaction would be, okay, I am feeling paranoia. I am feeling very anxious. Okay, I don't know what to do. Can I even speak about this to my parents? Can I even talk about this to my peers? Can I explain them? Will they believe me or will they judge me? We all are opinionated, you know and we're living in a society where if we tell something to anyone, maybe 10 other people will talk about other things and may make a judgment. So in this case, most of the people, what they do is, they will immediately give or return the money, and they will say that, okay, whatever amount that you're asking for, I will pay you, and just delete the video. But what exactly you should be doing is, you should go to the cybercrime portal and lodge a complaint that this has happened with you. and nobody else becomes a victim to it, and neither do you. First, ठीक है? Go to the nearest police station, your jurisdictional police station. Go to the cybercrime cell, lodge your complaint. Go and call 1930 immediately, right there and then, and say that this has happened. This woman has sent me this video. I have probably been forged, and there is something incorrect that has happened with me. I'm not comfortable. First of all, I would want you to track that criminal and get all of this information removed because I am not supposed to be a part of it.
Hmm.
So these steps we need to take, and this is the kind of offenses, new age offenses, I would say. Because now when we've become digital nagriks, the digital nagriks need to be digitally aware also. So that's very
All right, ma'am. Also, with the onset of AI, I feel like it actually becomes a lot more difficult, and we it is very difficult for us to protect ourselves from cybercrimes with AI. Coming to digital arrest, this is the question that majority of us wanted to ask, and we roll out a form, ma'am, in which we ask, are there any particular question that you would like us to ask our guests? And we had a lot of questions regarding AI, cybersecurity, digital arrest, what to do and how to just prevent it. So, ma'am, my question was this only. First, ma'am, if you could enlighten us what digital arrest exactly is and how does it work, and maybe how AI is, matlab, AI makes it a lot difficult for us to protect ourselves from it, ma'am.
see, the beauty of law is the difficult it looks, the easier it is.
Okay.
We're talking about we're talking about right now. I think the last offense that we spoke about was sextortion.
Yeah.
Again, the word itself tells it meaning. Similarly, it's with digital arrest. When you're arrested within your walls, within at your place, but you're arrested online is digital arrest.
All right.
Somebody might just call you from any number and say an alien number, and they would say that your phone has been tracked in an illegal activity. It
Mm-hmm.
could be anything. It could be terrorism. It could be any illegal activity of pornography material or phishing or anything else that is illegal and against probably national security or not under the information technology rules and act. And this may land you up in jail. This may
Yeah.
land you behind the bars. And again, the first human reaction, the first emotional reaction that you have as a human is that you will panic. That
Yes.
what happened? Where did you track my phone? So now these criminals are very, very intelligent. They
Yeah.
already have a lot of your information. And we have seen crores and crores and crores of money actually being duped into all this. Where we see that आपको फोन आएगा और वो बोलेंगे कि आप मे बी लास्ट मंथ or last week you were in Bangalore, and they know that you were in Bangalore, and they will say that your phone is trapped in Bangalore,
Mm-hmm.
and we have tracked your phone. We've realized that there is an illegal activity, and now you're involved in this. If you do not agree to pay the certain amount, you will probably be seen behind the bars. ठीक है? And in some time they will create a fake court order also.
Okay.
They will create a fake court order also. They will send it to you on your WhatsApp, which is sealed, which is signed, which looks like a court order, and it is absolutely believable. You will panic more that what has happened, because I was there in Bangalore a week before.
Yeah.
I was in the area he's mentioning. I actually came back few days back. Where did my phone go? What did I use? And we use so many applications. We go through so many websites. We take our phone everywhere we go. It's a partner next to us, right? So we don't realize how it is being used. So in that case, you will probably get more panic. In some time, there will be a person probably dressed in an official. It could be any LEA official, law enforcement authority official. It could be a police officer, or could be an NI agent, or anybody, and try to threaten you and say that I am an agent of the government, or I am a police officer, and now you're caught in this particular offense. You are not supposed to even switch off your camera. You're not supposed to move from your place. You are digitally arrested. Now you understand the concept of
Yeah.
being digitally arrested,
Yes, ma'am.
that you are there in front of the camera. You cannot move, you cannot go out, you cannot switch off your camera. Now this is a court order and you have to comply by it. But don't worry, we will get you out of this. You have to pay this amount. and you'll be released. But let me tell you, there is no court, no police officer, no magistrate who's working online
All right.
like this. Like if there is a court summon, you have to always appear before the court. So, there are digital courts, we know there are certain matters, हम बहुत सारे matters court में से देखते हैं जहाँ पे digital matters भी होते हैं, चालान के हो गए या बहुत सारे ऐसे matters होते हैं जहाँ पर digital courts भी होते हैं. But you always have a recourse of approaching the physical court. But here, where you have no recourse of approaching the physical court, you're just saying that you don't have to come to the court. There's nothing to be done. Then you're digitally arrested and you're made bound to be right in front of the camera. Trust me, there is a sign to be conscious. What usually we should do is we should start asking a lot of questions. Okay, if I was in Bangalore, which place was I in? Maybe the person is saying that you were at AP Road. I don't know if AP
Hmm.
Road exists, but I
Yeah.
know Kormangla does exist in Bangalore somewhere.
Yeah.
So maybe you were at Kormangala, or you were not at IT Park.
Hmm.
IT Park, you were probably not at IT Park. Start questioning. Where did you get my phone from? What is my phone make? How did you find my phone? What exactly happened? Timings, place. Start scratching a lot of intrusive details about that offense, so that the person may get a little conscious. Because if I know your details, Karthik, if I know who your parents are, if I know your account details, if I know your name, if I know your schooling, if I know your records, by the personal information that you have probably furnished everywhere around, I may not know very, very personal details about you know so those personal details must be questioned, or those specific details must be questioned to make the other person conscious. And I absolutely understand that this is a human tendency when you get little conscious that, okay, I'm not able to frame any questions, I'm not able to get what should I ask. It's very normal. So
Mhm.
just calm down, take 5 minutes of yours, and then think about it and then answer. So being calm is very important.
Also, ma'am, I would also like to add another point with AI and various like powers of AI that we call it nowadays. One of them is voice cloning, right? One of the things that I personally have not like witnessed, but like seen on online videos is that what nowadays what criminals do is they often call up parents and they say, your child has been caught, he was dealing in drugs, and this was illegal, and whatever, he was there, he was with his friend and he's been caught. And what they do is they use AI to clone their child's voice, and they say, okay, you can talk to your child right now. And they often say, okay, I mean, it seems as if his their child is talking, and they say ki, and the child is often crying and saying ki, mom ra meko bacha lo, I did a mistake and all that. In this particular situation, parents often panic. They feel, oh my god, it's actually my child, because obviously from his voice, and they feel worried, and they feel they just want the child to be safe, so they often end up paying whatever amount the police officers ask them to. And so you said the best way is, number one, try not to panic. Number two, to ask them questions, to ask the child or even the police officer the questions. Okay, some personal information, for example, what place, what did I commit this crime, what's the make of my phone, and all that. And the third thing, which I read online, is that what you should try to do is you should cut the call and you should try to call them back on the same number and
Absolutely.
see whether they are able to respond in a
Reachable,
similar
yeah.
way or not. Because
Another
what
thing, yeah.
sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
No, 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 please tell me.
Yeah, because what most of the time happens is criminals, they program this and then they get on the call, and they are only able to use this program when they are calling the victim. But this program is not doesn't work when the victim calls back the criminals. So yeah, that is another point I feel would work a lot. You were saying something now.
Absolutely, that's a one-sided call. Another thing is, if your child is in another city, if your child is in another state, most of the time you're not living alone. You might be living with somebody. It could be a friend or cousin or anybody else. Try calling that person and getting a verification, or try calling a guardian who's around, or try
Mhm.
calling your tenant. Because if the criminal can clone your voice, he may or may not have cloned the other person's voice. There are chances very less.
Hmm.
So get a confirmation from the person who's next to that
Yes.
victim. So that's also very important. That's one step that you can take. Try verification of a hospital. If they are naming a hospital, let's say Navyug Hospital. Does
Mhm.
that hospital really exist in the place that they're mentioning? Ask which hospital, which area, what is the address, where are you? So those intrinsic details that we talk about,
Mhm.
you can always Google those details and check if the other person is, whatever he's telling is safe and true or not. So
Yeah.
that those details we can check.
Yeah, I agree, ma'am. Also, one of the last but not the least, I mean, the crime that I would like to talk about, which I feel everybody, especially in this day and age, has faced, is that of cyberbullying, right? I'm sure everybody has faced that, especially celebrities. But a lot of times, what happens is, people from fake accounts or even sometimes from their real accounts, what they do is whenever a person posts some photo, they oftentimes, go and comment rubbish on their post. Not only that, they oftentimes, edit the photo and send it in their groups or whatever, and they try to misuse that photo and just bully the individual in that particular, and which often leads to depression, obviously. And there are a lot of cases in which young people who often of times use social media like Instagram, Facebook and all, they get end up depressed. And it's not, you don't want the youth to be depressed, of course you want them to be motivated. So in that particular case, what do you feel is like the perfect way to respond to cyberbullying?
See, cyberbullying is not an individual offense that comes in place. There are a lot of
Okay.
things.
Okay.
There is cyberbullying, then probably cyber stalking, then
Okay.
somebody probably is there's an identity theft. The person, whatever he's saying, or you remember, it's a very uh, small example, but people used to mock about Angel Priya. So people
Yeah.
would become Angel Priya and probably message their friends. So
Mhm.
that's another concept when you are not you, but you're trying to be someone, or you're trying to identify yourself as somebody else, and then trying to bully someone or stalk
Mhm.
someone so that you're not traceable. You nobody can track you who you are. So all of these offenses, when we talk about stalking or we talk about bullying or we talk about identity theft or impersonation, these are all the provisions which are covered in section 66 of Information Technology Act.
All right.
So we make sure that regulations which are made, which are updated and evolved by the government of India, they are being followed, and of course you can always file a complaint against this.
All right, mom. Yeah, mom. Also, like there are so many crimes these days, right? And I'm sure we missed obviously a lot of crimes that we obviously did not have the time to talk about. What particular is there a particular source? Obviously there is news, but like, do you feel there are any other good sources that every individual should look out for to just stay informed about important legal changes that affect their online rights and safety?
See, apart from news portals that you can always surf on, you can go to PIB website, Press
Okay.
Information Bureau, check out their advisories and notifications. They will keep you updated. Go to the website of Ministry of Electronics and Information, their notifications, their advisories, circulars, notification that they talk about. Go to MIT's website. Go to MHA's website to check their Department of I4C and what do they publish and how are they investigating. Keep checking your Delhi police website. So these are the ones that keep telling you about what is happening in the world of cyber crimes, offenses, prevention, grassroots problems, and of course the measures to curb. So all of them keep telling you. If you want to know what exactly are the crimes that have been ongoing, there are so many that we would probably not be able to cover them here in our
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
We talk about there are thousands of cases of digital arrest at the moment. We name it. We have offenses with celebrities like Anu Kapoor also. We've had offenses against Swara Bhaskar also, Indian celebrities. We have had offenses against CEO of Vardhaman also. You name it, you have it. So there are so many types of offenses also which have been committed. We talk about sextortion also. There is KYC scam also. There is UPI scam also. There is phishing emails also. There are fake websites also. There are fraudulent applications also. There is digital arrest. There are viruses. There are malware and trojans and whatnot that you click. There are ransomware attacks. Recently, I'll tell you with one of my friends what happened is her WhatsApp was logged. Probably she had clicked a wrong link which was received on her WhatsApp. So now this happens especially with the people who are elderly. Without knowing, they add themselves to these groups. especially the religious groups. They will add themselves. With the elderly, I see other WhatsApp groups. With the young generation, I see the Telegram groups. And a lot of offenses have been happening through these, where they will just, without knowing, click a link, and their phone or their digital device may get just absolutely locked.
Hmm.
And then it comes a ransomware attack,
Yeah.
where the person says that if you want to open your digital device, if you want to open your mobile or your laptop, what do you have to do? You have to pay this amount to this bank account. So this is also one of the attacks that we usually deal with. We see a lot of bank accounts being frozen, right? Trading is also one of the offenses. So we see so many things happening that it's very difficult for us to explain how many offenses, where, and giving examples of each of them would not be fair enough to concise in a 1 hour
Yes,
podcast.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Mom, I feel, as you said, there are so many crimes, so many, like everybody should be aware of them. And the government obviously is doing a great job, personally, I feel. And, just they have various WhatsApp communities as well, Cyber Dost, if I'm not mistaken, Delhi Police. I follow both of them, both the communities. They almost send out messages, like they make community posts all at least once a week, and I'm like, it's really helpful. That's how I keep myself updated, and I'm sure on what like the different websites that you told us about, I'm sure like they would help a lot, and everybody should just stay aware of all these cyber crimes. Jumping to that section of the podcast, which a lot of the viewers are actually looking forward to this particular question, and you would be like, I'm sure you will help a lot of the students by answering this question, is the advice for students. So what I mean is, like, a lot of young professionals who want to enter the field of cyber law, what advice would you give, to them to get them started and thrive in this growing career? Also, what advice would you give to the professionals who are looking to specialize in a domain that intersects both law and technology?
The sooner the better. I
Okay.
would I would really concise it like that, because the evolution of crimes is growing like anything.
Hmm.
Every day we see new offenses, day we see crimes. So if you're absolutely interested in delving into something, a subject called cyber, do not wait. You can probably do a degree, you can do a diploma course in cyber. A lot of universities do that. ILI has a course, IP has a course, NLUs have a course. So there are so many renowned, well-established universities. Even private universities have a lot of options of you doing probably a diploma or a master's in cyber laws. I did my master's. So you can pursue your master's in cyber law, you can do your diploma in cyber law, and then take this forward. If you want, you can specialize in forensics also. So now
Right.
forensics is also a new field that people have been picking up with. uh, People who want to intersect technology and law. I couldn't be a engineering student myself, but if I was, I think it's a great combination. If you are a BTech student and thereafter you do law and then you enter into the field of cyber, nothing like it, because then you are adept with technology and also adept with law.
Okay.
Also, with the people from technology background, they have an additional option of getting into patents also. So if in case someday you realize that along with cyber you also want to get into the patent law, so it is only specifically for the students who are from science background and they can pursue patent, and being a patent attorney is a great option.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also, like, I'm sure, like, so this was the advice for the students. And the last question that I would like to ask you is the question that I ask most of the guests, and it's probably one of my favorite questions because it's not related to cyber security or whatever. It's like, what advice would you give to your younger self? You said that you wish that you belonged, or you did had a technical background. You said that, but do you feel like there is any life motto that you live by, that you feel that every youngster out there should follow? Because cybersecurity is quite an overwhelming field. If I belonging from the technical background, it's quite overwhelming. There are so many attacks, so many different exploits, malwares out there. Like, you just have to keep yourself updated all the time, right? What advice would you give to your younger self? And I'm sure that advice would be, would really help other students as well. So yeah, ma'am.
Hmm. That's something that I probably will have to think about.
Okay.
uh, First of all, I think, touchwood by God's grace, I've been blessed to take this field in
Yeah.
time because while it was picking up, I was a part of it. And by God's grace, I was also absorbed by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So I think it was a sheer pleasure and a blessing for me to be a part of it.
Perfect.
Alongside, I think that I probably should have started a little earlier.
All right.
So starting sooner is always better. So the sooner
Perfect.
you start, the better it gets.
Perfect, ma'am.
Yeah,
So yeah, ma'am, thank you so much for taking out your time for us and our viewers.
pleasure.
It was an insightful conversation. I'm sure our viewers got to know and learn a lot about, the evolving role of law in cybersecurity. Is there something that you would like to tell the viewers about, ma'am? A particular talk or anything about yourself, ma'am?
Come join me.
Hi. Sure. Thank you once again, ma'am. We really appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
that's a wrap for this episode of Besides Weekly, guys. We hope you found today's conversation with Miss Sakshi Bhayana as inspiring and as insightful as we did. Her work truly highlights the evolving role of law in cybersecurity. Be sure to join us next time for more expert discussions, and don't forget to subscribe to stay connected with the latest in security and tech. Until then, I have been your host Karthik Verma. Stay safe, stay curious. This is Besides Weekly signing off. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.